Okay. So I'll start with Euro CHF because I'm still in it. So nice and straightforward, basically. So I've got a build-up of liquidity here. I believe it to be higher time frame bullish, sorry. So I'm just admitting people. No, bearish. But basically, obviously I spotted this trend line here. So we've got 1, 2, possibly a 3 at the third, 4, 5 touches. There or thereabouts, 4 touches. So obviously straight away, I think I was doing this from early in the week, to be fair, maybe last week. So obviously I've been trying to look for a buy up to take this as obviously to sweep into that and then possibly continue to the downside. But so it is overall we are bearish. It's heading down big time. So obviously we've had this build up of liquidity down here. Show you on 15. It's 10. So build up a liquidity here. This wick here is spread hour. So my FX DM feed, I ignore the spread hour on that because it's just not how price is. It's so I ignored that. So three clean touches there. Obviously from there we've had a liquidity sweep. So just mark that liquidity sweep. Mark that equal lows. So obviously once this swept this liquidity, I was then obviously waiting for it to reverse and then wanting it to break 1 minute structures, which this was my first one. And then we had another one up here. I was unsure on which one it was, but once I thought there was a little entry under here. I've deleted it now by accident, I think. No, sorry, I deleted me green box entry box, but just under this wick here, there's a imbalance and a little order block. Which, so I thought this had played out, but fortunately for me, I left the other 2 zones on there and I left an alert just above, which this spread hour just missed it, which I'm quite glad about because I think my alert was something like that. If this would have tagged me alert at that time and I'd have probably just deleted. Well, the alert would have been turned off, and then I wouldn't have caught this. So once I see
did that sweep at the bottom there? Did that tap into something as well? No, your previous one.
this one here,
No, right down the bottom.
there's just an imbalance down there.
Sweep?
Yeah, it's just that obviously this whole move is the sweep, and there's an imbalance down here at the very low. So
right.
Yeah, just obviously I say it week in week out. I'm not always keen on the ones from real down low in the. Obviously, this is looking for a buy, so this actual extreme bit of the wick on the. I mean, it'll be a wick on say the 4 hour. I'm not always too keen on them because I believe that when this takes this, that will trigger buy orders. So I believe a lot of the time the initial push comes from them orders being triggered.
Yes.
And then on a lot of them, I mean,
But you're happy for that. You're happy for that sweep to not have filled an imbalance.
It would have filled an imbalance. Yeah, it would have filled something in here, mate. So
okay.
Yeah, I will get to that into a minute because I'm sure it would have. I wouldn't have taken it if I didn't if I thought it was coming lower than.
That's right. I was just checking you weren't going just off a sweep. No, that was
no.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I might have even deleted the imbalance line by accident while I'm protting around.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was just checking you weren't.
Yeah, it is one of
going
my
for an
checks.
entry without the initial fill. That was all.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll double check that now, just so. Obviously, this is in the lower a wick low and a structure low as well. So
yeah.
um, yeah. So imbalance here, and then might be
Yeah,
clear on
I
a
do.
lower 10. Yeah, don't quite feel on a 10, but it's that sort of area at least in it. So
Yeah.
yeah, happy with that. I like the fact that it's tagged into this sort of area. To be fair, so looks the best on the 15 for me. Then obviously we've got the imbalance here. So yeah, but yeah, I like the fact that it's tagged into this sort of area here. So I was happy with that it had done whatever it wanted to do at that point. You know, I was happy that if it was going to start breaking to the upside, that it done what it wanted to do to the left. So then obviously it started breaking highs to the upside anyway. So my alert went off Friday morning. Like the look of this as well. Sort of see it coming down. I think I see it about here or something. Give me 5 or 10 minutes just to check what was going on. Like this, looked like your standard manipulation candle. Obviously, this is, as I just said, obviously this is spread hour, so I avoid this. I ignored this. So, and then that leaves us equal lows here, just relative. I don't think it's perfect, but pretty close. So it's taking liquidity just into what was my entry zone I had marked, and then obviously throughout Friday just bought. So it's possibly created a trend line here. It created liquidity on its way up. Possibly created more. I don't think that's the best, but I'm hoping it's still going to go up. And the overall target will be to take this trend line here, which is why my order's set just above. But we'll see how it reacts. If it reaches there, not the best trend line either. So yeah, I'll see how it is once it gets there, and if it creates any more liquidity, um, it might decide to create equal lows right on top of it, equal highs just below or something. So if it does get there, I'll maybe hold, depending on what price action prints around there. But I'm still in that, so we'll I'll have a check at about 11ish when the market's open, see if I've blown my account or not. But, but yeah, I do think I should be all right. We are starting to make bullish price action, so I'm hoping we're good. I'm hoping we're good.
Well, I'm out of interest. Why do you think you might have blown your account?
Uh, I mean, if market opens below here,
Yeah.
probably blow. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's always a risk with a weekend holding, mate.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Depends on. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if market opens there, I'm miles in the negative here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Especially off a 2 pip stop loss. So
Yeah.
for every 2 pips below this, I'm severely losing. So
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I got you.
that's the one I'm in anyway, guys. Is there any questions on that? It's I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Trend line, sweep, fills something that I'm happy with. Break to the upside and mitigation. I know obviously that sounds really easy, but and I know appreciate it's not just that simple. But obviously we place together liquidities and structures and imbalances to obviously build up a story. And the story was that I've got a target, I've got a starting point, breaker structures, obviously, as I say, to maybe give me confirmations on where I want it to sort of go to. Can I just show my trend line? Yes, absolutely, mate. Not trend line, me change of character. Yes, mate, yeah. Bar replay there, mate. So So obviously price is downtrending. We could have maybe had these as a pullback. So price still might come down for something in here if that is an actual valid pullback. I went a bit on the safer side. I went with this one here. Yeah, I don't actually know why, because I would have normally counted that. But I mean, I might, if once it broke above these, as it does here, I might not really seen anything I liked, and then just move me, change the character to the higher side. But yeah, there was that one and this one here. Pull back here, continue down. Yeah, pull back, high, low, high, low, high, and then it's all if this is it's debatable whether this is or isn't. I suppose my thinking would have been is because this is such a big drop here, does this just correct this price action rather than a authentic pullback? So then that would then make this one continuous leg. Still, maybe that one should maybe still be valid, but I had on the side of caution anyway, so I went there. Thought I'd missed it because of this one, but turned out I was all right. But yeah, that was me changing character levels. So I suppose on the 5 minute, I mean, these do look like all right on the 5 minute, but yeah, that's what I went. It worked out. So, any more questions on that, guys?
No.
No. Do we all understand what I'm saying? What I'm showing?
It always looks so simple when you do it like this, mate.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Well, I mean, I think I spoke about it to a couple of lads early in the week, maybe back end of last week. So obviously, when I'm opening a chart anyway, obviously I would always recommend starting on like say the higher time frame. So 1, 2, 4 hour, and marking up the liquidity that you can find on that. So obviously, if on say third or fourth touch like this is, obviously I spotted it at this point. Then my first point is go what put in the last touch. So there's something down here likely put it in. Obviously it's trending upwards, so structure wise this is a low, possibly. Don't really break it, so don't really count as structure. But so this is a structure, pulls back deep into this low here, obviously, which is gets swept by this, doesn't break the low. So this puts in that last touch as well. So pull back it deep into this. I would say bottom 25% of this sort. So I don't see that there. Bottom 25% of this, obviously, it sweeps into from this range here, pulls into that nicely, and then starts breaking to the upside. So yeah, so opening the chart and finding liquidity sort of helps me decide what I'm sort of looking for. So this one was purely based on I would have been last touch. What put that in? Is there anything down here that I'm looking for to be taken as a target? So it's prices come down, targeted this trend line, filled an imbalance that I'm happy with, and then it started breaking to the upside. Once it's broken above these sort of highs that I'm happy with, it's then come back and mitigated, and then I'm hoping obviously it goes and takes out the overall target. Obviously, it's not guaranteed to go there. It could come lower into this, I guess. But yeah, obviously, this is that's part of trading, I guess. So we did have it was, I mean, it was nice when I got in it on the 4 hour time frame because we just had three decent candles in my direction, but the last few hours of the market being open want the best, almost pleasant, but not too worried by this because that'll just be people closing for the weekend. What sort of concerns me a little bit more is if this isn't a trend line. I'll just show you on the so possibly got because these are so close. I don't know if I class them as two touches, but maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But the main concern at the minute is obviously if it closes, if the market opens below my stop loss, then obviously that's an issue. But this is a trend line, so we've possibly had a sweep, so we might actually come and break structure as well here. So, but that's not guaranteed. It might just be coming to find an imbalance. Obviously, it's come into this imbalance that I had marked on the close of the market. Pretty much to the T. So bear with me a sec, guys. I'm gonna have a touch that's gonna delete it. Move it something. So obviously, as you can see, at 10:36, 40 seconds. Obviously, we're on the 10-second at the minute. This huge imbalance was created. I was hoping it would just come and fill that, and then continue to the upside. So yeah, it might well be on its way to continue up now. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping anyway. Take a look on the daily trend line at the top around your target. So yeah, I think you're on about the one I've already got, mate. So I marked it on the 4 hour. Same thing. It's yeah, it's just a wait and see. It's part of me plan. So win or lose, as long as I don't blow the account, I'm happy. So yeah. Anything else, guys, before I maybe move on? No. Okay. So Daniel said CAD CHF heading for a decent higher time frame. I guess that's a buy, mate, because so it might line up with Eurochef. I was saying that I know this is aiming for all-time lows. Yeah, this is at all-time lows possibly. So sell this, I guess, is the overall bias. I was looking for sell the other day. Yeah, I've been trying to sell this for a little while, so we might actually get one from up here. I'd have to take another look because I haven't looked at it in a while. But so I was just seeing if there was a trend line because if there's a good trend line in here and this was a sweep, obviously we've started breaking to the downside. Under here. I would then be saying yes, this is the possibly the place to sell from if it's going to actually sell off. I'll check what this is tapped into at the minute.
Did you find out your lot size that you can put on Bitcoin, Isaac?
Not really. No, I've not installed that thing yet. But yeah, I was pretty shocked at that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to trade for that reason. It's like I said, the leverage is. I think
It was
on
only
the
a 0.07 or 0.08, I think.
yeah, it's So I see the leverage for the 5%ers. I think it might have been yesterday or Friday. So obviously it's depending on which account you get, but some of their leverages on their lower accounts are say 1 to 30 on forex, 1 to 10 on indices, and 1 to 0.8 on crypto. So yeah, it's yeah
1 to 0.8.
Yeah, it's really low. I think other accounts are 1 to 1 and 1 to 10, depending on which ones you buy. But yeah, what 1 to 0.8 is. I don't even know if what you can risk on that at all, because I think you can only put the maximum of 0.01 on. I don't even know if.
No
I
way.
mean, only if you're on a 100 grand account, you might be able to do it, I guess.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yeah, it's low, really low.
It seems that they've all the prop firms have changed their leverage on crypto recently.
Yeah,
Knowing obviously it's going to be very, very bullish, I reckon.
yeah. It sort of makes sense, mate. Yeah, you'll get people that are making money that are just getting lucky, I guess, and they won't want that, I suppose. So
Yeah, I was gutted. I just finished making my cheat sheet for the 4 things that I watched, thinking, right, I'll get my pendings sussed here now with the right lot sizes and blah blah blah. But
yeah,
that's all gone to shit. Well, for Bitcoin it has anyway.
yeah, it's a pain in the ass, mate. Like I say it's crappy, really, because it's so like some of the setups on it are so easy, but if you can't leverage it, it's sort
Well,
of
this is it.
pointless. So
I'd have to be getting stupid risk to rewards to even
yeah,
get anything on a. I've only got £1,000 account.
yeah. Is that self-funded, is it? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have to check the leverage on it, and obviously the won't your self-funded probably won't be the same as a prop firm, but they'll probably give you more. But you will need to check it, and there is an easy way to figure out how you can work it out as well. Obviously, I know Cam posted about the position size calculator thing, but
Yeah,
there's
I'll have a look at that. That's advanced technology for me, though. That sort of shit.
yeah. So obviously,
Pretty computer illiterate.
yeah. Well, I'll try and remember what it is and post it. But I know for like Euro USD, it's like your account size. If you times that by like the lot size or something like that, it's real easy to work out. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, I'll have to double check with all this markup. I'll not do it on my session because it'll take me a while and I'll waste half the session. But
I mean, you said as well, Isaac, it was only like £5 that you were risking.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah, that's what I'd work all my lot sizes for different.
Yeah, sometimes it's just worth just having a play around, like for £5 for losing £5 potentially. Just keep on dropping your lot sizes until it enters, and then you know what it is. You can close it almost straight away.
yeah.
Because it's self-funded. But for the sake of a couple pounds, like it's worth just playing around with it and then just figuring it all out yourself, if you know what I mean. So literally for risking a couple pounds, it's not really like loads, but at least then you know what you can risk.
Yeah.
And then as your account grows, then you can add a little bit more onto it then. I
wasn't even aware that the stop loss didn't come into it. The size of the stop loss, I assumed that was
involved. No,
involved.
it's what you're risking. It's not your stop loss. It's your leverage. But
Yeah.
also, what you need to check on the self-funded is, are you on a 1 to 30, 1 to 100, or a 1 to 500 leverage? If you've got a 1 to 500 leverage, then that £5 probably would have actually triggered. If you're on a 1 to 30 leverage, then it probably wouldn't have.
I can't remember, to be honest.
It'll be in your settings. You can change you can
Yeah.
change the leverage whenever you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to, but that's probably what it is. You're probably on a lower leverage at the moment,
Off
and what
memory, I think I went for the middle one because I thought, well, I'm not going to need massive leverage. I assumed.
you got to say assumption and all
Yeah,
Yeah.
assumed it was a fart and it was a shit.
that.
Yeah.
Thought you farted, but you didn't. You shit yourself.
So yeah, if CAD CHF comes anywhere near sort of like these two zones, I think we've got a real possibility of a sell off to all-time lows. There's a huge trend line here. I'll just show you that. Get that down. Touch, touch, touch. So we've got targets for the down. As you can see, it's hella bearish. So actually looks like in the last couple of candles was might have already gone, to be fair. But I wasn't too keen on what that high had tapped into, so I think it'll go higher still, but assuming that's the higher time frame zone he was thinking about. So I think someone posted Orge CHF earlier as well, so we'll take a gander at that. We're getting the CHF pairs in tonight anyway. Um, I think I would try and sell it the other week, but doesn't mean anything. So we have again heavily bearish overall. We have possibly had a break to the upside though, so mid range. At the minute, I don't actually know what this is doing, so ish. But we have obviously filled a nice imbalance in there. And this looks like it's my 451 setup. I might have missed it. So 4 hour, there'll be a 4 hour zone in there. Breaking structures to the upside. So 4 hour break. Come back, tagged it. 15-minute breaker structure up here. Well, that'll be the 15-minute high. I know we're on the daily at the minute, but I know my orange lines are 15-minute structure break. So break to the upside up here, over this. I haven't stupidly drawn my zone, but I've marked imbalances. So we very well could be buying up on this. Yeah, filled an imbalance. Possible trend line sweep there as well. Yeah, on. Trend line there, sweep. So come back into the zone again. 1 minute breaker structure above here, no doubt. Don't know why that one's there. 1 minute break here, possibly here. Bear with me, guys. Going to check. Yeah, definitely 1 minute structure there. Pull back there, low. Fills an imbalance. Does this one take it? Yes, it does. Does it body? No. So for my 4-15-1, obviously I don't want to confuse you all with two strategies, but this, I would not class this as a structure break here. I would not class this as a breaker structure on my 4-15-1 because it hasn't body closed above. Whereas I would on just my general supply and demand because the price has been there. So obviously after that structure break, I would then be looking for it to come back and fill an imbalance somewhere. Wait a minute. So, which obviously it does around here, no doubt. So that would likely fill an imbalance in there. There's a nice looking area. There's a real possibility that this is definitely going up overall for a bit. So my 4-15-1 tends to catch the bigger moves as such. So this could easily target up here now. This would be a possible structure point. So I should have maybe had something like that on. Something like that, possibly. But I didn't catch it, so it don't really matter. But structure-wise, obviously, because we have had breaks to the upside now, so obviously it was heavily bearish, is heavily bearish still on the higher time frame. Higher time frame down, but then we get to the nitty grittier sort of time frames, 4s, 15s, 1s, things like that. So, where I'm looking, not there. So yeah, so tags are low, starts breaking to the upside. 15-minute break to the upside. We've got 1 minute to the upside, so we might start seeing bigger time frames to start break to the upside as well. So I would say this is long, which I quite like because it possibly lines up with my Euro chef being long as well. So it would indicate CHF weakness. So the euro might be sort of heading up a bit, at least to maybe just take pretty much identical trend line as Euro chef, I guess. So yeah, that's possibly a target at least for first of all. Might not make it that far to be fair. Might take this and sweep into this and continue down. So with that, I'll delete that because that's irrelevant right now. So does anyone have any questions on that, by the way, guys? No? Just drink me tea. Think if you have any questions, type it away now. Drink me cuppa. So no questions. I'll move on to points of interest unless anyone has any questions. So points of interest are usually I like points of interest in and around say the 25 top and bottom 25% of a range. So if we've got I don't know, let's draw for a structure. Let's find a structure high. That one's rubbish. Something that's trending nice. we go. There we go. So here's one I drew earlier. So structure-wise, obviously we've got a high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So ideally, so if I draw a box from here, I'll use this. Obviously, this is the because this is broken this low here. This is the live leg until what happens next is does its thing until the next low is broken if it breaks the low or it breaks the high. So if I draw this box on here, so I'm going from this high to this low, and I extend that slightly right. So this is the live leg, and then obviously we've got this 25% up here of the box. Because this is downtrending, obviously the top 25% is ideal for longer term sells because obviously we are high into the previous leg. And then obviously there's a chance that we then go on to make a new lower low, which it does, obviously. This is I late my 415.1 somewhere around about this time here. So there's probably a setup in there that I would now take. But you know, is what it is. I want doing it then. So we're looking for the top 25% for obviously in a downtrending market for longer term holds. And then obviously it would be the bottom 25% if we was looking for buys. And I believe this structure leg will do the same. So this is the high. This is the low. I'll just extend it right a touch. As you see again, top 25% for sells. And then obviously it creates a new lower low, does the same. And then we could possibly be seeing the same thing. So this is what I class as the low here. So obviously this doesn't come back to the top 25%, but we could be seeing that now. Because that actually could be that is the new lower low possibly. So this could well be aiming up for this sort of area up here. It looks like this takes liquidity. We might see a trend line across there, sweep, breaks to the downside. So we could well be seeing mitigation coming up here soon. Completely ignore these green boxes because they are old and I didn't really know what I was doing then, I don't think so. So I'm just reading a couple of the comments, guys, sorry. Points of interest on buys are something I struggle with. Exits on sells I find easy, but buys I can never quite get correct. So points of interest on buys are something I struggle with. So obviously it's the same of obviously what I was just saying is obviously if we're downtrending, obviously this is higher time frame. So inside of all this is lower time frame stuff. So obviously high time frame, this would just be reverse. If this was trending upwards, you would be looking for points of interest in the low one if you were looking for buys. I'll just delete these. I don't want to confuse it too much. So when obviously this is downtrending, but obviously it pulls back and it looks like it pulls back really well, usually high into the previous high. So when we look for buys, obviously just downtrending is sort of the opposite of obviously what we should be doing. We should be trying to sell it in fairness. But when it comes to trying to get buys on these sort of trades markets, is we should really be using like liquidities and things to try and identify where our points of interest are. So obviously, I missed this one. I was watching it quite heavily, to be fair, and I just missed it. I think it was around Christmas time. No, it was September, late September. So with obviously this creates a low. I'm sure that'll take a trend line of liquidity somewhere on the higher time frame. But if it taps into this by the looks of it, so it's tapped into this, whatever that is. I have no idea what that is. 15. Well, that'll be Brexit, won't it? Will it? Brexit vote? Don't know. So yeah, obviously it creates a low anyway, and then it's just the same again. We could argue that if we draw a box, drag it obviously from the low to the high, we would ideally take buys from somewhere in this, as long as we get the relevant sort of like confirmations, which will be breaker structures and imbalance fills and liquidity being taken type thing. So, but this is why we would obviously, this is a downtrending market, so this is because this has taken this low, and obviously it then breaks this low. We obviously anything below this point is possibly the new lower low, and we could be getting a pullback at any point. It might continue, but with every new low that it creates, could be the new overall low before we pull back. So obviously, when we mark the points of interest on from when we start to breaking up, and we want to wait at least for these kind of lows to be broken. Otherwise, it might just come up into this area and take a new low. So we've started breaking above highs with this price action, this, and obviously we're on the daily, so there'll be other mini highs that got taken. We then obviously pull hard back into this lower zone, and then we start breaking. Just delete this sec. We then start breaking highs on a lower time frame as well. So back. It's sort of similar to what I was saying on the CAD CHFs, to be fair. Obviously, the same pair, apart from it's not CAD, it's USD. So obviously, it comes back into the lower zone that I had marked, which would have been a 4-hour point of interest, fills an imbalance, and then it starts breaking highs. So this high or this high, they're about the same, but effectively this low is created, and then it literally takes the high that put this low in. So that was then a 15-minute break to the upside, and then price comes back into this sort of area, taps it, and then does a 1-minute break to the upside. So yeah, so at that point we've possibly had 4-hour break to the upside, 15 to the upside, and then we get a 1 minute to the upside somewhere. Obviously, there's liquidities to be taken into account as well, but obviously liquidities are used to just move price, in my opinion. They're not. I don't think they're a sign of things going up or down. They just move price into their direction because they will be taken. And obviously, they don't always mean a reverse. They can mean continuation as well. So liquidity is built up here after the 15-minute break to the upside. Mitigating imbalance in here, no doubt. The last one, or close to the last one, breaks the upside on the 1 minute, creates more liquidity, and then tags 2 imbalances there. So there's possibly 2 entries into that. One's the right one for the big move, and one's obviously not. So this is the lowest one. Obviously, I said I don't always like them there. But this is one that did a play out from there. I'll show you that because So I'll just replay that before them two zones. So obviously we get a couple of little imbalances in here, and then we've got a build up of little imbalances in here. That'll be better on the 5. Yeah, then we start to get a bit of volume here. Obviously this is what it tags into. It fills this little bit here, a little bit on the other side as well. So BPR, I think I'll class that as BPR pretty much fills that, and then goes about its structure breaks. So let's go back to the 4. So yeah, pending confirmations. Obviously it's broken. It's given us signs on multiple timeframes that it might want to go higher, and then obviously it's gone higher ever since. So I mean that's yeah. I mean I'd have definitely been out coming around about here because I was possibly expecting it to give another entry for a sell, but this touch here has created another trend line, so I believe it's going higher, but I'd have possibly been out by now anyway, and it's possibly gave an entry Friday. So just show you my thinkings behind it. So this is why I was possibly looking at this for another buy as well. Obviously, it's getting onto points of interest. So we've got a significant high up here. So this high gets taken with this. This is the price leg that obviously takes it. So let's move this. Just going to move that because I know when I touch it, it's going to mess me channel. And this is when I was saying liquidity sweep doesn't mean reversal. So obviously I class significant highs as liquidity points as well, trend lines and equal highs and equal lows. So there's continuation and reversal. So this high gets taken with this. Price then comes back somewhere into this price leg that caused the sweep. Obviously, it creates a trend line on its point here. But then obviously it reverses somewhere into the area that caused the high to be broken. So obviously does that, takes a high, creates liquidity as well for a possible continuation, comes back, mitigates imbalances, and then I'm sure it does a 1 minute change of character to the upside. It does, yeah. So news makes it fill the imbalance. I think it was that one there. Yeah, this one here. Obviously, I had all these marked. But I think this is the imbalance it actually fills. Nice 1 minute candle as well. But I marked these. A couple more. Get the general idea. You just mark an area that you think it's sort of possibly reacting out of. Mark liquid is. But it comes, fills them anyway. I'll just go back to current price. Fills them. Obviously, you can see it's pretty much all but fills that one perfectly. And then it starts breaking to the upside. Whether you class that as here or there, it does it anyway. And then it comes back and fills this imbalance here. So obviously after it breaks to the upside from here, so that's actually 1 minute change of character there. As soon as it breaks above here, that would be the green light to go and find an entry. So I'll just show you that candle. Lovely huge candle there. So pretty much half 2 on the dot. And then I think if we don't need to do that. You just see it taps it lovely and has been moving up since, which would have been Friday morning. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and that's that basically, but didn't do that either.
And Lee, on that previous, um, is there any imbalance lower than that, or is that the lowest you found? Or
So
why do
no,
you like that area over anything else?
yeah, so obviously I marked all these.
Hmm.
There's possibly stuff lower, but can't remember why I only marked it there, to be honest. Just let me have a quick look, mate.
And do you ever put pendings on them and they just shoot straight through? It's like,
Uh, yeah, but I'm very. I don't just take loads of trades and things anyway, so I'll only ever take something I'm actually really happy with. So
hmm,
yeah, so I mean
experience.
this week's just shy of so, but I mean if once I'd have had time. I mean I didn't take this because I was busy concentrating on Euro Chef, so and I didn't actually have this trend line until yesterday when I was looking at it. So this one on my radar like Friday, so but it was Saturday obviously, but so I mean, it's a hindsight markup, but the process obviously, although it's hindsight, the hindsight can teach us to what we're looking for and what we're wanting to achieve, sort of thing. So it gives you something to back test, and then once you've back tested it, you can then forward test it, and then you can take it in a live market situation. So, um, but yeah, I mean, we've possibly got equalish lows here as well. So anything under that is an area I'd be looking for an imbalance to be filled. And then obviously I'd literally have bar replay from say on sort of thing,
Yeah.
um, up until like maybe this low or that low, but nothing really stood out as such. There's maybe something here, but I was drawn to by I think it was the liquidity. There's this little trend line and liquidity sweeping here, so I was drawn to this area initially anyway. It's a real small trend line and sweep. So yeah, this is why I was marking
Yeah.
this one here because I thought possibly here, and then I started seeing more imbalances, nice imbalances just below. So I just go forward, and again, obviously the big trend line up the top is the target overall. As long as you can hold it that far, and obviously depending on when you got in, obviously you won't want to get in this late on a Friday. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously the obviously the imbalances are not just a specific thing you need to learn. Structure is not just a specific thing you can learn. Imbalances, it's obviously it's a tangled web incorporation of all of it together. So there'll be, I mean, this looks like a trend line sweep here. Obviously, this trend line up here is your target. This trend line here is an indication that it's going to come lower and tag an imbalance below this. And then obviously more imbalances to fill for your entry once you've had the last confirmation of a break to the upside. And obviously that 10-second candle that I showed you was pretty damn nice. So yeah, it's obviously I start by opening a chart and sort of looking for liquidities to be fair, and then see from there. Obviously, I see that it took the high. Again, obviously, taking the high has caused it to pull back, but I was expecting it to because of this of what it created. I was expecting it to continue, whereas a lot of the time, obviously, if we count this trend line here, at once it took this one. I was expecting a sweep reversal as such. I'm not once it swept that, other than mitigating the entry, I'm not expecting it to come back anytime soon. So there's two ways to look at obviously liquidity being taken, which is a continuation and a reversal. See if I can find an example of both nearby. So I think we covered this trade last week, possibly. So equal lows here. In big, huge imbalance on the daily and 4 hour. Gets taken. Takes this equal lows. Draw a line so it's easy to see. That gets taken. It gets taken by anything from this point up. Obviously, I drew some imbalances, and obviously it filled this one, break to the downside. So this is how I view a sweep continuation. So it's took liquidity, pulled back into an entry, basically confirmations, continued down, and I'll try and find a sweep reversal. So somewhere along this line, touch, 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 possible touch, sweep, and then reversal. So I suppose what we want to be looking for at say like this point where this is at now is if this is tagged into something we're happy with, are we possibly going to see a reversal? Or once it sweeps, are we thinking it's going to pull back into an end like a zone where we then continue? So let's say this pulls down there, took liquidity to the left. Is it going to pull back and continue after giving confirmations here? Or is it going to sweep, break through highs, come back, mitigate, and then reverse? So this is what I'm sort of like eyeing up when a sweep happens and takes place. I'm looking for, is it going to pull back and continue down, or break to the upside and then reverse? I'll change them colors so you can see them better. Something like that. So obviously here we've got it in a continuation from this one being swept, pulled back, confirmations, continue down. The previous one was a continuation as well. But up here, like I say, up here would be a sweep. Did it tap into something? It gave confirmations, sold off. So it's all based around, obviously liquidity is neutral. It doesn't mean it's going to do one or the other, but what it does after that, like a confirmations, is what will give us the heads up on what we believe it's going to do. Steven's got a 415 one on NZD USD. That I don't think I'll have it marked, mate, because I don't really look for it at the minute.
Yeah, if you was to kind of like go on to, oh, you might have one there, Clegs, as well.
Yeah, I see it straight away, mate. I assume you're thinking of something like that.
I think, yeah, my zone is probably different. If you went onto the weekly, obviously you can see the points from there. So I think I've got like a 4 minute zone. Well, it might actually be the same.
Well, we're hitting that area, mate. So
Yeah,
obviously I haven't marked it like accurately or anything. I'm just assuming somewhere thereabouts.
yeah,
Obviously, I think there's a bit of a low there, so maybe we'd go under that, somewhere under there, maybe.
yeah. I just wasn't too sure if I because it's kind of broken through my 15
Yeah.
minute only slightly.
Yeah.
Is that going to be invalid for me now or not? I'm not too sure. I can always put some markups into the chat and just go from there.
Yeah, do that, mate.
Yeah,
Because
it's getting late as well, isn't it, for everyone?
yeah, well, I mean, I think I was looking at something before that made me think that this could reverse anyway.
Yeah,
So if this zone's about right, obviously I'm not saying it is, I don't know, but obviously it's pulled back, created a new low. So we have possibly had the 1 minute breaker structure. So
yeah.
even if
I've
we're safe
potentially
up
got
here, that's a 1 minute happened up here.
an entry of 55455 potentially.
Up here then, yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, 55455. Yeah,
Yeah,
something
I
like
mean,
that.
yeah. Obviously, I can't guarantee it right now, mate. But
No,
just off looking at it, like there is probably a 415 one set up there.
just keep an eye on it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure, mate, about your entry. I'd maybe push it up to here a touch.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just because there's a void here on mine. I mean, it might come here perfectly and tap it, but
Yeah,
because of my feed, mate, I'd be saying to cover this
cover
imbalance
that.
here.
And where would
Yeah.
you roughly put your stop loss if you was doing it there?
Uh,
Oh yeah, down to low.
well, yeah. I mean, I would always tell you guys to cover the low,
Yeah.
but but to be fair, mate, it's only 2.5 pips, so
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's nothing
cover
then.
the
That's
low.
fine.
I mean, it looks like it's massive miles away on the five
Yeah,
second,
it does,
but
doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, in reality, it's
It's
not.
it's it's a couple pips. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll just cover the low, mate. Obviously, that'll allow for any spreads and things, but
Right.
I will double check over this over the next sort of like day or two of things.
Yeah,
Just
cool.
to
Yeah, no worries. I think I'll send you what I've got for my 4 hour anyway.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
well, I won't even bother, mate. I'm just going to mark it up off my own back anyway. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll just see what I come back with. But
Well, if
like,
you went onto the weekly, there's like three dips there. So
yeah,
and my one basically is like the furthest one is to the left on the weekly.
yeah. So I'm just
Right?
going to mute someone.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah, and
There we go.
yeah, if you was like zoom right out and shrink it or whatever. Yeah, so I think actually mine is that middle one, just that one there. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
started that one as a 4 hour POI.
yeah. That makes sense to me, mate.
Yeah,
That's obviously I've got this marked up. I think I marked that
yeah,
long time ago. But we can only obviously when we say trade what's in front of you, this is the next sort of like possible
yeah.
zone. So yeah,
Cool.
415 doing you one possibly
Yeah,
now, or
yeah.
possibly done it. So as long as
Yeah,
we've
that's what I was
got
thinking. Might have
um
already done it.
yeah, I would say obviously check for targets as well.
Yeah,
Because if there's no targets, mate, there's it's pointless trying to take a trade. So
fine.
you know, um, but yeah,
That
check
makes
check
sense.
check for targets, mate, and I'll just delete some crap. So yeah, check targets, mate, and you'll
Go from there.
maybe go from there, mate. Yeah,
Lovely, thanks, mate.
no worries. Is there any more questions, guys? Because if not, I'll call it there. Hopefully, you've all taken something away from it and it sort of made sense.
Definitely, mate. Thank you.
There's probably a lot to go at for some of you, so all good. Cheers, lads. Yeah, I'll
Thanks,
call it
mate.
there then, lads.
Cheers, mate.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Lee.
Have a nice evening.
Cheers, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks, Lee.
Bye.
I'm really excited to do the editing, so yeah.
Make it nice and short.